Good morning, everybody. I'm going to read right off my notes just so that I don't go off on a tangent. But a few weeks ago, actually it was probably about a month ago, Pastor Joel spoke and it encouraged me to share my story. He mentioned a verse about awake to righteousness, then sin no more. And he talked about how so many of us have this backwards. We want to sin no more so that we can awake to righteousness. And it reminded me of my life before finding my impact family. I met Jesus when I was 19, and it was such a life-altering moment, and it really was foundational for my journey with him. However, I had that verse that Pastor Joel was speaking about completely backwards. I was trying to sin no more so that I could be righteous. I thought that I could outserve the ugly areas of my life, and it really just led me to having an overwhelming amount of guilt because I was now in leadership as a new Christian and just hiding all of these areas of my life that I was really needing healing in. I felt I had to live two lives. It was frustrating and led me as a new Christian to feel defeated and give up, going back to my old life. So now I was in this really uncomfortable in-between phase because I was living my old life, but frustrated because I knew that there was more. There had to be because I had seen it in so many other people's lives. And I think encountering God's love, that isn't something that you can just forget. I decided to reach out to a Christian friend that I trusted and had kept in contact with. We had coffee and I basically spilled everything. I spilled my doubts and questions about God and Christianity, my struggles with alcohol and addiction, my cycles of unhealthy, abusive relationships, one that I was currently in at the time, and my struggles with depression and anxiety. She listened to me with such a compassionate heart and really broke down the religious barriers that were holding me back from seeing that God has and always will love me. This became a safe space for me to bring things to the light. So after that, I started coming to Impact because that was where they were going, and I felt like I wanted to continue to grow my relationship with God. Ironically, the first day that I decided to attend in person was also the same day I found out that I was pregnant and soon to be a single mom. At that moment, the enemy would have liked to tell me that I didn't deserve to be here, but God and the family at Impact embraced me with nothing but hope and excitement for this new journey I would be entering as a mom. From natural eyes, it looked like my life was turning upside down, but in God's eyes, it was turning right side up. This verse is what he spoke to me. It's Psalms 147, verse 3. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds, healing their pain and comforting their sorrow. I chose to receive that promise because, if I'm being honest, it was the only thing in that moment that I could hang on to. I chose to plant myself in this church, and it seemed like every single Sunday, Pastor Joel was writing the messages just for me. I went from trying to present myself as a good person while secretly trying to fix the ugly areas of my life to someone who just put it all out on the table, allowing God to do open heart surgery. It was one of the most vulnerable seasons of my life, but when you allow God to do open heart surgery on you, the shame and guilt has no place anymore. I felt like I could breathe again. The lies that I was believing got broken down and replaced with God's truth. It was like all of these blinders were coming off and I could finally see again. There's too many to even list here, but what I will tell you is that I'm free. I'm no longer who I was, and I get to carve a new generational path for my daughter and I. Yay for that. It all started by me taking the step to be honest, first with God, but then finding someone that I trusted in my church family. I just want to encourage anyone here that if you're struggling or frustrated, so was I. This is a safe place to talk to someone and walk out the freedom that God so deeply wants you to. And if you don't know who to reach out to, reach out to Pastor Julian, and he can connect you with someone that would be a safe person for you.